have about today's game?
Ray, so close, but it was also frustrating. You couldn't quite get over the top. Where do you kind of put that in this game?
To be honest with you, where we came from the Southern Illinois game, it was simply tonight. You have to give an effort, a worthy effort, before we can start to kind of break things down. And so that's really all we talked about the last 3 days is just, it's got nothing to do about X's and O's if our effort isn't at maximum. So I thought for the most part our effort was pretty good. Now you need to start to try to figure out, 3 missed box outs in the last 4 minutes, 2 on free throw deal, 1 on less than a minute to go, and guy's standing right there and has no idea to step back and box his man out. I mean, if we don't talk about those things, it's on me, but we grade it every day in practice, and we grade every game. So, we have such a fine line for being successful. We need as many touches to the paint as we possibly can offensively. As we started out this year, we've had to change some things we do offensively because Gary Ricks gave us a second ball handler that could shoot the basketball. Now we have 2 basic 3 men in that don't come off ball screens very well or are able to make decisions. So a lot of the stuff we've had to try to change and just to try to keep it in our point's hands and have him make decisions. So it's, but when you give an effort now, we can start to try to tweak some of those things.
That fine line you're talking about was probably demonstrated a little bit in the turnovers too. It wasn't a huge amount of turnovers, but they were timely turnovers.
Yeah. That's winning time, just making easy, simple plays and decisions. But, hey, for the last 3 days, we've been talking about nothing other than our effort needs to be at a minimum level before we can start to coach you. And we were tonight. Our effort was good, and our talk and direction. The other main focus the whole week was on defensive transition. Indiana State does an unbelievable job. We sent 3 people back. 2 plays down the stretch, our point drives, and our 2 wings stand and watch him get 2 laps. I mean, it's just when your effort's there, and then you got to kind of start to think the game a little bit too, and have a better feel for just the things that you can control. Can't control people shooting the basketball. I mean, we were fortunate tonight they didn't shoot it well from 3. So those are the little things at the last 4 minutes of a game that in a close game wins and loses you a game.
That effort you're talking about was evident certainly in the last 10 minutes in your half-court defense as well. What were you doing to kind of, get them off their game and get them, even on their 2-point attempts, they were struggling.
We had to decide just one way or the other what we're going to do, and we tried to play in the gaps tonight as best we could. When we hopped or it was a bad closeout, we got driven, and then that's when we fouled. And just to stay so disciplined each and every possession has been hard for this team to do over the course of 40 minutes. When we did it, and again, they didn't shoot it great, but, we can be pretty functional defensively when people are in the gaps and it's a good, solid closeout, and knowing who you're closing out on, a shooter or a penetrator. And, we try to switch it up a little bit with zone just to keep them out of rhythm a little bit, and they, put 4 shooters in, so you got to go back playing man. But, again, I told him before the game, we all can lay our heads on the pillow as long as you give a great effort. That's all we can ask. And now we need to try to be a little bit smarter in execution to kind of get to the next stage, because you can't talk about winning unless the effort's there first.
Were you imparting some wisdom on Jake Odom at the end of the game?
I love Jake Odom. We have 2 point guards coming in here, both freshmen, one from St. Louis, one from Milwaukee, and those guys should get his tapes of 4 years, and he is a leader, he's a winner, he understands the game. As a coach, you appreciate seeing guys like that. I had opportunity the last few years to be around some pretty good point guards, and Jeremy Pargo and Kevin Pangos and Matt Bolden, and you just gravitate towards those guys, and Jacob's certainly one of those.
Anything else?